Fans have often complained about LEGO remaking too many sets, and whether you love them or you hate them, this year LEGO has made a whole bunch of brand new, never before seen vehicles. My name is GeneralJSmith, and these are the top 10 LEGO Star Wars 2017 sets. Number 10. Jedi Starfighter with Hyperdrive. This entire set is a sort of remake of the 2007 Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter with Hyperdrive booster ring. The difference being this one is based off Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, whereas the previous model was based off Revenge of the Sith. The Starfighter itself is also a remake of Obi-Wan's Starfighter from 2003, although the design of this one is vastly improved because of course of the many other Jedi Starfighters which have been released in the preceding years. The minifigure selection is expected, and we received very similar versions of Obi-Wan and Jango Fett in some of the summer 2013 sets, but the young Boba Fett is a character that many fans have longed to see a return, and it's nice to finally get an updated version of him, even if it's not on the Jango Fett Slave 1, which is what everyone really wants. The price point is a little steep, but it's still a great design and surprisingly sturdy considering how fragile the previous model was. Number 9 is the First Order Heavy Assault Walker. This is the first set on this list to be based off The Last Jedi, which at the time of this recording hasn't been released yet, and thus I can only comment on its accuracy from the short clips we received in the trailers. But even from those brief moments, it's clear this is grossly out of proportion, not just relative to a minifigure, but also to previous AT-ATs. Many hated this set for being too small because, as many people are already aware, this walker towers over its Imperial counterparts. Personally, I completely understand LEGO's decision. This model already contains over 1,300 pieces and is still considered to be overpriced, so just imagine if they'd actually attempted to make a size-accurate model. Although, when I think about it, a UCS AT-M6 would honestly be an amazing set, and I really hope they make one in the future. It comes with a few exclusive figures such as Rey and the Walker Driver, but these will most likely appear in smaller, cheaper sets next year. With all that being said, I still love the design, and if it wasn't for the price point and the lack of space inside the model, it would be a lot higher on my list. At number 8 is the UCS Snowspeeder. The Snowspeeder is a craft which has been remade countless times, and even this set is a remake of an older UCS set from 2003. Ever since then, a significant amount of people have been asking for and expecting LEGO to reboot it again, which of course they did at the beginning of this year. As you would expect with UCS models, this is a great representation of the iconic vehicle and has several notable features while also being a great display piece. One surprisingly obscure detail is the main cannons, which extend from the front, are actually ever so slightly angled towards each other, which is very reminiscent of the actual vehicle in universe, and this is a great example of designers truly paying close attention to the minute details which only the hardcore fans will recognize. For this reason, this set is a great example of how to make the UCS version of classic vehicles. Number 7 is Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. In my opinion, this is one of the best designed starfighters in the entire Star Wars saga. Many people compare it to other TIE fighters such as the TIE Interceptor or Darth Vader's Advanced TIE, but this one is far larger and even more menacing with its red and black color scheme. Kylo Ren has slightly different printing than he did in The Force Awakens, but overall, the minifigures aren't particularly special and are certainly not the reason to pay the excess price tag. Speaking of which, while many people are understandably displeased with the increased prices for many of the Last Jedi sets, I would say that this is one of the very few sets which is actually worth paying a bit more, purely because of the design and size of it. That being said, I would still recommend looking around for deals which should be available about now, and I genuinely do think that this would be a great gift for Christmas, which is why I can see this set being quite popular even with the inflated price. At number 6 is the Imperial Trooper Battle Pack. Even though Rogue One only takes place hours before A New Hope, it introduced us to so many different characters and vehicles never before seen in the Star Wars galaxy, and one of the most prominent throughout the film were the Death Troopers. We did receive 2 in Krennic Shuttle last year with specially designed black shoulder capes, but obviously because of the relatively expensive nature of that set, it would have been very difficult and expensive to build an army of them. Fortunately, at the beginning of this year, LEGO made a lot of people very happy and released a battle pack with 2 regular stormtroopers and 2 Death Troopers without the black capes. In my opinion, this is the absolute ideal set for those wanting to build their Imperial army, and I actually prefer the fact that it comes with just 2 Death Troopers instead of 4 to stop oversaturation of the special figure, in the same way that you wouldn't want a battle pack which just has Senate commandos. The build is very generic, and if one is planning to buy these in bulk, it's probably best to part them out and possibly even resell the pieces to get some more money back to buy more battle packs. But as you all know, battle packs are all about the figures, and this is easily one of the best Imperial battle packs since 2007. At number 5 is the Resistance Bomber. This is yet again another stellar set which would have been even higher on my list if it was just priced more appropriately. The Resistance Bomber was a surprising highlight from the first line of Last Jedi sets. With various different features, many consider this to be one of the better models of the year. hence why I put it at my number 5. While it does come with some cool new pilot figures, one of the major draws of this set is Vice Admiral Holdo, whatever, who is most likely going to be a major character in this and possibly other future Star Wars films, although I have been wrong in the past, and for all I know, she might just be the Jar Jar of the new trilogy. Despite that possibility, the design of this vehicle is very similar to the B-Wing and appears to function in the same sort of way, where it's mainly used for blockading and attacking capital ships. Another good aspect to this model is the fact that you can fit all the minifigures inside it fairly comfortably in numerous different compartments, which isn't always possible with other sets. If you find this for a reasonable price, around 80 or even 90 £90, I would certainly recommend picking one of these up because I believe in a few years this very well could be as iconic to the Resistance as the Y-Wing is to the Rebellion. At number 4 is the Rebel Trooper Battle Pack. Just like what I said about the Imperial Trooper Battle Pack, the Rebel Trooper Battle Pack is another incredible army builder and is in my opinion one of the best Rebel Battle Packs ever released. The reason I put this above the Imperial Troopers is mostly because of the build that comes with it. As I've stated a lot now, Battle Packs are all about the figures, but good, usable builds can definitely make them a lot more valuable, especially after they're retired. And these small speeder with turret are a lot more accurate and, in a sense, realistic to the actual smaller vehicles the Rebellion uses. That being said, the minifigures are still obviously the best part of this set, and while they do appear in a few other sets, the small differences in printing between them gives a level of realism and individuality to these little plastic men. Overall, this is nearly a perfect Rebels battle pack, and there is honestly very little, if anything, that I would actually change about it. At number 3 is BB-8. Number 2 and 3 are very interchangeable, and I went back and forth for some time in considering them, but I decided that at number 3 is the UCS BB-8. Now officially this set isn't actually classified as a UCS model, but fans call it that because of the information plaque and its resemblance to the UCS R2-D2 from 2012. And for those who aren't aware, this is meant to be size accurate to that set, which is yet another example of LEGO designers considering other factors outside of just the set they're making. You know, when I think about it, this is actually quite similar to the UCS R2-D2, with its rotatable head and the main feature being a device which pops out of a concealed compartment. This model has the best of both worlds, in the way that, of course, being a UCS set, it's an amazing display piece and looks remarkably accurate alongside R2, but unlike the vast majority of other UCS sets, BB-8 is also very affordable and you don't need to be a massive nerd to warrant picking him up. Not to mention that out of all the items on this list, I would go so far as to say that the UCS BB-8 is the one that I would most recommend as a Christmas gift to anyone who's into LEGO and or Star Wars. If you have a friend or nephew who you know is into Star Wars but you don't know what specifically they want, I'd recommend picking this up because with this set, you really can't go wrong. And at number 2 is the First Order Star Destroyer. As I said before, number 2 and 3 really are interchangeable, and I appreciate that not everyone may agree with my choice, but in my mind, the second best set of the year is the First Order Star Destroyer. Now, I'm just gonna say it straight up. I have always been a massive fan of Star Destroyers, and if someone gave me one ship from the entire Star Wars galaxy, I'd probably want it to be the Millennium Falcon. Or an X-Wing, really. But after that, I would definitely choose the Imperial Star Destroyer. And the First Order Star Destroyer has an even cooler design, with a more streamlined, yet still very threatening appearance. Another big draw for this set is the presence of Supreme Leader Snoke, making this the first set he's ever appeared in. And while we don't have a lot of information on him right now, he's clearly looking to be the head antagonist for this new trilogy, making him an essential part to anyone's LEGO Star Wars collection. We also get a micro-figure hologram of a robed figure, which is something we saw only once before in the 2014 Imperial Star Destroyer, so it's great to see that again as well. Unfortunately though, this has what is now a common drawback with many modern LEGO Star Wars sets, that being the overinflated price, but as usual, if you can find this for around $140, I would highly recommend picking it up as it makes a great playset as well as, in my opinion, an amazing display piece. As usual, before I reveal my number 1 pick for the best set of 2017, here are a few honorable mentions. The Y-Wing Starfighter. Duel on Naboo. And Darth Vader's transformation. And at number 1, the best set of 2017 is, of course, the one, the only, we all know what I'm about to say, The Republic Fighter Tank, I mean the UCS Millennium Falcon. Honestly, I'm not sure what I can say about this set which hasn't already been said by literally hundreds, possibly thousands of people in the LEGO community. But if you truly have lived under a rock for the past year, in 2007, LEGO released the first UCS Millennium Falcon with 5,195 pieces, which at the time made it the biggest LEGO set ever sold. It was retired a few years later, and as you can imagine, it rocketed in price. I believe one sold for about 10 grand on eBay at one point. That was until, after long anticipation, LEGO teased that this iconic toy would be remade, and pardon my French, but to put it simply, the LEGO community kind of lost their shit. This hunk of plastic bricks sold out everywhere almost immediately, to the point where some fans actually thought it was a ploy by the LEGO group to hype it up even more by not producing nearly enough to meet demand. Personally, I don't know if this is true, but if it is, believe me LEGO, you do not need to hype this up any more than it already is, because I'm worried people might actually start going nuclear if these don't start coming back in stock very soon. With 7,541 pieces, this is easily the biggest and heaviest LEGO model ever retailed, which is why many people believe this to be one of the greatest LEGO sets of all time. I mean, that's not my reason, of course. In actual fact, the reason I think this is one of the greatest sets of all time has got nothing to do with the size of it. It's all to do with the fact it comes with porgs. Like, that's literally the only reason I bought this £650 set, was for those sweet, sweet porgs. I only wish they came in a cheaper set. Son of a... My name is GeneralJSmith, and this is the Obi-Wan and Jango Fett and some of the others. And this is a great example of designers truly paying close attention to the And this is a great example of designers truly playing, such as the TIE Interceptor or Darth Vader. But this one is far larger and even more, because I believe in a few years this could very. Now? Really? You have to do it right now? With its rotatable head and the main feature being a device which pops out. Giggity. Most recommend as a Christmas gift to anyone who's... First Order Star Destroyer has even more color? Not really. While we don't have a lot of information on him right now, he's clearly... Unfortunately, the... God damn it. Unfortunately, God damn it. Unfortunately, God, I can't say the word. Unfortunately. A common drawback with many modern Duel on the boo. Duel. That's surprisingly hard to say. Duel I can't do it now. Duel on the boo. Duel? You pronounce the D, don't you? Duel on the boo. Duel at the boo? Oh! Duel. Say duel.
That may be beyond my abilities at the moment.
What? The one, the only, we all know, LEGO model ever retailed, which is why many shit.